one of our heroes, David and I, is the great Rick Rubin, and he has a line that we often refer to. On a given record, he says, 8 mistakes is too many, 5 is just right.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I found a mistake on a record that was on Spotify. And this gives you another example of the producer's ear, how producers hear things. And I was like mortified and like destroyed in every way. And I felt embarrassed, but I had to tell Pascal, I'm like, is there a way we can re-upload this album? Because there's a pretty significant mistake on the titular track, no less, Nicaragua Moon, right? And he's like, where? And I'm like, whatever it was, like, it's on the second verse when you say, Nicaragua Moon the second time, and he's like, I don't hear anything.
My whole family can't hear anything.
Listen, they don't hear any mistakes.
Sounds great.
But all I hear is this horrible click, because there's a reason I missed it. It's because it was on I guess it wasn't Nicaragua Moon, or maybe it was on the Nicaragua. I don't know where it was, but it was on a hard consonant. And, but I hear it every single time. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. I think every person has a raw talent that you have to discover what it is, that you're naturally just gifted or talented in. Some people never find it, which is sad. Drums are not my gift. That is not my gift. I worked really hard at that. Composing is not my gift. I had to work really hard. Arranging and producing, definitely not my gift. I've worked really hard. My gift is my ears, like the natural ability to just hear things and be able to understand and identify and, and like my students, some of them get like completely freaked out because, I've gotten better over the years, but, I'll say things like, oh, are you using the Vienna Synchron edition for your violins? How did you know that? Well, because it sounds like that, Or I'll be like, you mastered this with Ozone, right? How could you know that? I'm like, because Ozone sounds like shit. I say it very delicately, though. I say it more like, well, I really don't like the sound of Ozone. It has these really harsh upper mids and it over compresses no matter what you do. And I point out all the reasons I don't like it, or Valhalla Reverb, which is, the closest to the lexicon for ADL. I'll be like, that sounds like Valhalla Vintage. How did you know? It's like, well, because that's what it sounds like, So yeah, that's my natural gift. And I think every single person has a natural gift. And I do believe that Pascal is a naturally gifted singer-songwriter. He's gifted, like absolutely gifted. His poetry is just like, the way he just will put concepts like, just one thing, just a few words that go together, but they all complement each other. It's like Italian cooking. Italian cooking, they don't use a lot of spices. What they do is they find balance, a beautiful balance between all the flavors. And in fact, if you use too much of any spice, they don't like that kind of food. They want to taste individually the basil, the parmigiano, the, eggplant, melanzana, the pomodori, the tomatoes. They want to taste each individual flavor. So if you put chili sauce and, Tabasco and tons of oregano and, Thai spice sauce, whatever, they don't like that so much.
Yeah, I have two things that I'm good at in my life. One is music and the other is management. So I intend to keep practicing them until the aliens come for me. And David will probably be in that same tractor beam and Levi, you're probably
abducted.
And Levi is at risk as well. I think
I was going to say that Levi is at risk
during a show.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Iggy, Spike, and Lester to show mercy on Levi. Like let him stay on Earth because he's so young. And
Yeah, yeah.
all I'll add on to this about, finding your gifts and talents. Like I followed your career for a while now, and when you are still like young the way you are, you're still trying to figure out what my gift is, like, and it took me a long time, but I am not a naturally gifted composer or arranger or producer. Not naturally. No, I had to work so hard at those things. But what happens through the discovery process is that you sort of find, because like your videos are amazing, but you're natural at doing it. You help tell the stories, which is fantastic, right? But I wouldn't say, especially knowing your capabilities in music and hearing some of your compositions and arrangements. If you remember your spaghetti Western thing you did, like blew my freaking mind. For those that don't know, Levi was my student in my class, and I introduced him to Pascal, got him involved in the project, and he's been on ever since.
Yeah.
So yeah, like some of your stuff blew my mind, and that's not easy to do. It's not easy to do, to blow my mind. So what is your natural gift? Like knowing your music as well as I do, like I couldn't say what it is. I know you're a great beat maker. And we both agreed on something about the way DJs especially produce beats with sidechain compression, right? We both don't do that on our kick drums, where it's sort of almost expected, but he doesn't like it and I don't like it. And we might be at 2 out of 1 million people that actually don't do this, very common production technique. It's like, oh, well, you got to put your, side chain on your master bus and have your kick drum, trigger it. Otherwise it's not, music. And it's like, well, no, there is another way. You can just get your levels right and not have to do that in the first place. There's a million ways around that.
Veiled Angel, Goodbye BB King. Check them out, folks, on the official audio version and Levi's fantastic lyric videos on our YouTube site. We feel very much behind them and behind our upcoming album, which is called Imaginary Lover. And these are part of the series of singles that we're releasing in advance of releasing the album in April 2025. So hope you like them. Thanks for your support. Thanks for joining us. Please
Absolutely.
come again.
Thank you, everyone.